everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Let It Die, the Jackal killing episode. So, we're on a 6-star all-rounder, and I would recommend starting to farm the Jackals after you have defeated the final boss, Taro at floor 40. You could probably take them on sooner. At least you would have to have reached floor 35 and obtained the 5-star fighters. 4-star, it's a bit too risky to take them on. Maybe you could do it, maybe. But I think the earliest you'd want to try taking your hand at the Jackals is after unlocking 5-star fighter at floor 30, after reaching floor 35. Now, if you can defeat the Jackals, I don't know why you wouldn't just carry on and go defeat Taro, because you would unlock a bunch of useful options which make it easier to deal with the Jackals. One of them being Giant Killer Decal. This makes fighting the Jackals easier because they're level 200 by default, meaning they're definitely 5 levels higher than the player. I mean, nowadays it's debatable. But early on in your 6-star fighter career, they will definitely be at least 5 levels higher than you, giving you this 30% attack power increase. The other decals, I'm gonna leave to you to decide. Now you can pretty much go all attack on going with farming the first tier Jackals, because they're susceptible to being CC'd by just about any type of mushroom you can throw at them. They can be knocked down, they can be stunned, they can be stun locked with the Hornet Saber. I don't know if they can still be stun locked, but they used to be able to be stun locked. But yeah, they can be knocked down, they can be perfect guarded, they can be stunned with mushrooms. There's so much you can do to the tier 1 Jackals that it's quite possible to fight them without getting hit. Now I'd recommend to have at least tier 3 armor, as much upgraded as you can. I have my tier 3 Murderer's Hockey set here, ready to take with me. Now, there is one strategy that I love to employ against the Jackals. If you have a soft ranged damage type of weapon, and by soft damage I mean anything that doesn't cause any kind of pushback, very like chip damagey type weapons, you can actually freeze the Jackals in place with a Fungus, and as they're frozen with Fungus, you can take shots at them and they will still remain in the Fungus stunned state, allowing you for a very easy kill. Actually, my absolute favorite Jackal farming weapon would be the Flamethrower. I don't know how easy that is to get these days. It might be near impossible, but that's a really effective weapon to mess up the Jackals really fast. Let me see if I haven't got any access to any other weapons to deal with the Jackals. The Fireworks is an example of a weapon not to bring if you want to use the Fungus Stun shooty option. The Glinty Magnum as well. Both of these weapons will do pushback and knock them out of their Fungus state. Pitbull Shotgun the same, Sniper the same. The Crossbow, the Kamas, the Flame Wand, as long as you don't hit them with the melee portion of the wand, is another option. Tornado Shuriken, I'm not sure about this one, it's relatively new, I don't know. Oh, I have the Flame Wand, I'll buy it, just to show off. The Lightning Wand also probably counts as a soft ranged damage. The Pitching Machine, not sure, possibly, maybe not, we'll see. I mean, we won't see, because I don't want to show it off. I mean, I could. Yeah, maybe I should. I will. You, give me a Pitching Machine. And I realise now that I've got to actually pick up the pace, because just spawning the Jackals takes some time. Where is it? Where did it go? That Pitching Machine. Got it. One of the earliest Jackal farming strategies was to bring a shotgun, not a shotgun, a sniper. So there's all kinds of ways you can buff up the sniper damage. It's also a ranged weapon, extremely long range. So people would use the headshot decals, the what's it called? One shot, one kill. They would stack up one shot, one kill and one shot, one kill premium for 140% damage increase, eat some damage increasing shrooms, possibly use giant killer premium for another 60% damage increase, or just make a bull build with all bull and premium bull, raging bull, premium raging bull, added giant killer or one shot, one kill, probably one shot, one kill. Stacking as much damage as possible and using the sniper rage move to basically one-shot kill the Jackals. Let's go. Yeah, I think I'm good to go. Jeez Louise. The reward box keeps trolling me lately. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to pick it up, but I will pick up some of these just to free up to 50. Good, let's go. So the Jackals can spawn on pretty much any floor where normal enemies would spawn as well. They also show up in the Forceman arena floors. They won't show up, I don't think they show up on boss floors after defeating bosses. I'm not sure. They actually show up in places where I previously didn't think they showed up. They show up in a lot of places. But your best bet, probably, actually what am I doing? Idiot. Damn it, what am I doing? This is so stupid. I guess it's force of habit. I always used to go to floor 1 to farm them, and I would take out all the enemies. Now, a prerequisite for even spawning the Jackals before you farm them, you have to spawn them. So, to spawn the Jackals, you have to defeat all the enemies on the floor, and then the timer will start. And after a certain amount of time, the first Jackal will spawn, and you'll hear a siren. You'll hear a single siren for the first Jackal. For the second Jackal, you'll hear 2 sirens in quick succession. For the third Jackal, you'll hear 3 sirens in quick succession. You know, I'm gonna get the hell out of this floor, but not before taking all these funguses with me. If I'm able to, and I'm not able to. Well, damn. Yeah, get rid of this fungus. I'll take 1 fungus. Okay, so we've got 2 extra funguses. Probably be more useful to me than that extra fungus. Okay, so the point I was getting at, floor 1 used to be the floor that people would everyone would challenge the Jackals on this floor. It's still not a bad floor, it's just, it takes a bit more effort to clear for enemies, because it's not a small floor. But there are a lot of funguses on the floor, and possibly rats? Are there rats here? Well, I know there's a lot of frogs, so you can farm fungus if you're using the soft range damage fungus stun strategy to deal with Jackal. I act as much damage as I could, and I defeated them using a +2, a +1, then +2, then +3 Death Burner Iron. As I was upgrading the Death Burner Iron in its 3rd tier upgrade, the fight was just getting easier and easier for me. I think I needed 2 fully healthy Death Burner Irons, and I would use one until it was half broken, and then I would move to the other one, because it would have lost enough damage that it would not be sustainable to keep using and still be able to defeat them. Now, I had to be able to defeat them in the... I had to be able to defeat them in about 40 seconds. So I would throw 1 fishy fungus at them, and they would be confused for 30 seconds and walk away. And as they were walking away, I would just stick on them and hit them with all the Death Burner Iron hits. I would roughly try and time I would look at my buffs, and around when 20 seconds have passed, I'd hit them with another or I'd wait for the buff to have fully disappeared and hit them with another fishy fungus to make them confused again, and then I would finish off the last bit of their health. And for the longest time I was only able to defeat one Jackal at a time, but these days the Jackals are easier, and I think people have access to much more killing power. Not to mention they've added fun shots, so there are many ways of obtaining a substantial amount of damage, and the Jackals have become much easier. What are you boasting about? I need it for dealing with the Jackals. Boom. So yeah, nowadays I would definitely recommend going to floor 9 for farming Jackals, because it's an elevator floor, so you go there instantly, and it's an extremely small floor, so you've cleared it very quickly. And it's not a confusing floor to make sure you've cleared. Like floor 1 has one screamer spawn that requires you to walk almost to the end of a certain room before he drops down and spawns, and you could easily forget him and just sit around for minutes and minutes and minutes with no chance of the Jackals ever spawning, because to spawn the Jackals you also have to summon all enemies that are not necessarily present on the floor but are able to spawn through traps. Traps that you trip. You don't need to defeat all of the... Basically to spawn the Jackals it's the same requirement as a full floor clear that you need to do for quests. So if you would have messed up the quests by going to the next floor, then that's also the condition for not having the Jackals be able to spawn. You have to kill everything. Enemies in vending machines don't need to be killed. So the Jackals will spawn. I think the minimum amount of time that has to pass is at least 5 minutes before the Jackals will show up. I don't think I've ever seen them spawn before 5 minutes, but what I tend to do is I get my phone and I set a timer, or I put my stopwatch and I start it the moment I've killed everyone. So I'll start it now. I'm a little bit late because everyone's been dead for a few minutes, but it's just to get a general idea of how much time has passed. And I've got my volume of my game down. I would recommend turning up the volume as much as your neighbors will allow, to definitely hear the siren go off so you know when the Jackals have spawned. Now, if you're taking on the Jackals after defeating the floor 40 boss, you also have access to Treasure Hunter, which will allow you to see where enemies are on the floor by looking at your map, and they'll show up as red arrows. Now, if you're struggling with defeating the Jackals because you are taking too long to find the first Jackal, and then they're starting to spawn multiple Jackals on you, which is really only a problem if you're farming them on the larger floors like floor 1, then having that decal might be useful. But in general you'll want to have mostly attacking decals. Don't look at my build, I am not equipped with proper Jackal fighting decals. Maybe I'm overconfident, but I've got a feeling just having a fully leveled strength 6-star all-rounder should have me covered for the damage I need. I also have the white steel spike crusher. I've got the Camus I got from some login bonus from some event from a while ago. But that's mostly to just show off the fungus stun strategy. Actually, I'm going to equip some of these items. Yeah, you want to get your equips ready beforehand, just so you don't have to do it mid-fight. I have with me white steel leggings. I've got a video, it's one of my more popular videos on my channel, white steel versus the Jackals. That basically shows off how overpowered, how much you can overpower the Jackals just by having base level white steel gear. Because white steel is like early tier 4 strength of equipment. So, especially if you've got it fully leveled, then it's really top tier stuff. Actually, when I deal with the Jackals these days, I think I just bring a murderous hockey stick with me. Or the flamethrower. Yeah, I'm wondering what would be the easiest to access way of messing them up quickly. Probably Fungus Camus. That's probably the most low effort way of dealing with the Jackals efficiently. But yeah, if you have enough barbarian decals, you've got a striker, 6-star striker, you've got barbarian decals, maybe even an addict, and you've got a murderous hockey stick, hitting them with the regular R2 attack will deal with them nicely. Not sure how much time has passed already, but the Jackals will start spawning shortly. And I believe within the... Oh, here we go. Speak of the devil. We can't see him on the map because I don't have the proper decal equipped. They can hear you if you make noise. Try and sneak up on... You can hear them talking. Oh!
Bloody.
So we've got Z first. Oh, she's on me. Yeah. We've knocked her out of combat. We can do a... Can we do a suplex? Oh, yeah, there we go. Now, slow, invisible will work on them. Even... I'm not going to use Confuse on her. I'm going to use... Having... okay, I've got her stunned with Fungus. Soft damage type from range will not break Fungus. Good strategy. It looks like also the pitching machine will not break Fungus. Good news. So there's random Fungus, you can just blast them to hell and back. So we're doing it inefficiently because we haven't got our damage decals equipped. I mean, we haven't got the damage machines active. She has a 2-hit combo. The Jackals kind of have power armor, so you won't be able to combo them like you will normal Screamers. So if you've got melee weapons, be worried about that situation. They can be knocked down, so you have a weapon that can knock them down in one shot. That could be useful. That was a knockdown attack, but she didn't get hit by it, so it doesn't count. Ah shit. Hold on. I'm gonna try and knock her down with her rage move. There it is, knocked on the floor. So if you've got like a ground attack weapon, that could work well here. Making the Jackals fight each other with fishy fungus is not a valuable strategy. It won't do well for you. I've tried. Hello? Cheater? I'm gonna run out of fungus. I think I may have underestimated their tankiness and overestimated my own strength. I guess I'm just used to playing on my main account and having the vast amount of damage possibilities that I have there. Well, she's dealt with. They will drop either the equipment they're wearing or a blueprint chest. If you're lucky, it'll be the blueprint chest. All of the gear they're wearing can be obtained in the form of a blueprint. Take some more damage here. I still have access to some very powerful shrooms for the next couple of Jackals. We've went for a long time before any more spawned. What was I saying? 15 minutes, all 3 Jackals will spawn. So it is quite possible for the first Jackal to spawn and very shortly after, like just 30 seconds or a minute after the next Jackal to spawn. It's seemingly random between the 5 and 15 minute mark that they will all have spawned. So if you're unlucky, all 3 Sirens, all 3 Jackals will spawn very close to one another, and you'll have to deal with 2 Sirens, Gun Jackal. This guy is slightly more difficult to deal with. He has 10 shots before he needs to reload. Oh, hello. Hit him with the fishy. He is now confused. And I'm blasting him. The weaknesses of the Jackals, they shouldn't have weaknesses, but I believe they are weak to the element that they're using. So this guy is probably weak to Pierce. The lady is weak to Blunt. And the Sword Jackal is weak to Slash. Or at least the 3rd tier is definitely the case. Let me get my shrooms ready again. I still haven't shown off the wand. I kind of don't want him to lose his confusion. Uh-oh. We've got a situation on our hands here. Ooh. Oh yeah, he's still confused, they're fighting each other. Nice. I'll take this time to rebuff with a strong shroom. I'll use Slow Mongus. Ooh, he's out of confuse. Okay. Gonna miss you, sir. Oof. Wow, he's dead. This goes to show how much a OG Sting can be a game changer these days. Buddy. This guy is voiced by Mini-Me. Rest in peace. Well, not doing much damage to you. I will use my last Fungus to show off the stun situation. Oh, get out of here. He uses the machete moveset. Pretty cool, but hold on. As you can see, I'm able to use Breaking from Fungus. You can use the kiting strategy. You can often get like 1 shot off on his headshot after he loses his guard. One of the first, some of the first kill videos I've seen for the Jackals used Magnum to deal with them. That's a really cool video. I don't know if it's by Sothe Fox or by someone else, but there's this really cool Magnum Jackal kill video. If I remember, I will link the Jackal kill in the description, because it really properly showcases how difficult the Jackals used to be before all of the updates we've had giving us more air power. Oh, watch out. I think I'll use a DBSS. What the? Oh. I'll use the DBSS Rage to deal with him if at all possible. The weapons are worth 3,000 kill coins per each per sale. Oh! Oh, you. The DBSS counter-attack rage move is a good option to deal with the Jackals. As you can see, it does a substantial chunk of their health damage. Did you? Oh. I was just imagining things for a second there. I thought his weapon broke after an attack. I unequip my gear and equip just the... He almost hit me with no gear equipped. That scumbag. Okay, so now I'm just showing off how much damage you take if you only have 1 Forceman armor equipped. As you can see, even having just 1 piece of Forceman gear, you're already pretty tanky against him. It's not amazing, it's not great, but, you know. If you have a full set of white steel gear plus 0, you should have enough to deal with the Jackals. Hit me. Okay. That almost missed. As you can see, I'm gaining rage with every fire tick he's taking. Through my attacks. Absolute madman. I'm taking higher amounts of damage because I've got the attack shroom. Oh sweet, champion of the barbs. Got a trophy for that. I wasn't even trying. But as you can see, I've defeated all 3 of the Jackals, and I don't necessarily have a properly crafted build. I'm not on a damage damage dealing specialist class, and the weapons I'm using aren't fully upgraded. I haven't got a proper build surrounding one or another specific weapon. It's possible you could one-shot the Jackals with the DBSS counterattack rage move, especially if you had a Sting Shroom buff and a bull build going on. It would be, I don't know, it would be a little bit dangerous because you being low health, but if you've got full white steel gear, you're probably taking a serious damage reduction, because bull build doesn't only increase the damage you do, but it also increases your defense. So you'd have a ridiculous defense buff, and if you used a uncooked life shroom, DBSS rage move, bring some attack shrooms and mouse shrooms with you for more rage, you'd be able to deal with 2 of the 3 Jackals, probably one-shotted. The gun Jackal, I don't think his gun blasts trigger your DBSS rage move. You'd have to bring another strategy for him. But yeah, if you go a corner to hide behind to dodge his 10 bullets, when you get up close to him and he needs to reload, he often tries to melee attack you, and it can be hilarious to see. He's a very bad fighter at times. Yeah, I can't really think of any more tips to give for farming the Jackals. Stack as much damage as you can. Go to floor 9 to farm them. I wish they added a option or a button somewhere in game where you could turn on instant Jackal spawning, like they used to have. It was a glitch back in the day. If you cleared a floor, there was a chance of you instantly having the Jackal spawn. Like your previous X amount of floors you'd cleared, all of the time you spent after fully clearing a floor would be accumulated, and it would ramp up in the game timer, and it wouldn't go away. And thus you would have scenarios where you would kill the last enemy of a floor and instantly hear the siren that like just a second had to pass, and the Jackals would spawn instantly, and they were very exciting times to be alive, because people would leave one enemy alive at least on every floor just to escape the scenario of being ambushed by the Jackal. But don't farm them, their gear is ridiculous grind. Take care, bye bye.